It's hot in here. Here we go. And welcome to Police Box Paradox. Angels Take Manhattan. I'm Wes. I'm here with Michael.
Hello.
And Kyle.
Yowza.
And what do y'all want to talk about? Have you seen anything lately? Have you watched any shows? Has anything been on?
Actually, I would like to talk about my nice gooey marshmallow s'more candle.
That's a sweet candle that you have right there.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's very, very sweet.
It actually doesn't smell too bad.
Okay. I've watched it. I watched it earlier today. I've watched it once. I've kind of watched it twice, and then I sat through the ending again just now while it was live, and the rest of the U.S. was watching it. So I don't know. I don't know what to say right now because I'm still emotional over this. It's bothered me. It's really Moffat not only he kind of had Rory die 3 times in this episode just to break my heart more. I mean, he died
3 times and then acknowledged. I like
he got to watch one of them as it happened. Okay, so let's start with what we usually go with here. How did you feel? Well, let's do this. Everybody, welcome to the show. We don't go we don't go through like a lot of other podcasts and kind of break down everything that happened in the episode. We're hoping you've seen the episode, because if you haven't, turn this off right now. Do not listen. Do not watch. Do not be a part of it, because if you have not seen Angels Take Manhattan, there is no need to spoil it for yourself.
Actually, you're welcome to watch. Just put us on mute. I mean,
maybe I have visual aids that would spoil it. What do you know? You don't know what I've prepared. No visual aids. I hope I don't raise the expectation level. So we just kind of go through and talk about things like we've just seen it, because we just have seen it, and I'm excited about it. To start out, how much did you like the episode, Michael?
How much did I like the episode?
Yeah, you can do whatever kind of scale you like. Just something to kind of see.
We could do a callback to you all and do beans.
Yeah, you can do out of 5 beans if you want.
I'll give it 5 beans, actually.
All right. Kyle, what would you give it on a scale of whatever you want?
On a 10 scale?
Yes, on a scale of 10.
On the scale of logical 10, definitely at least a 9.5.
That's where I'm going.
There's something very special about these send-off episodes for the different doctors and the different companions, and this is no exception. It's a very special episode.
I'm a 9.5 guy myself, because there's a few things here and there that I thought maybe could have been done a little differently. But overall, I tremendously enjoyed this episode. I really, and even if there are flaws, I'm going to overlook them just for the way he hit a home run. The entire second part of this episode, that last half moved so fast. And I noticed something because I watched it without commercials. If you just watched it with commercials, you need to rewatch it without them, because it's put together like a perfect film, and it just flows so well without those breaks in it, because everything goes together. Let's go to the top, because I made a lot of notes when I went back and watched it the second time.
Okay. I'm sorry. We typically reference. I just retweeted this under Police Box. And I don't mean to interrupt, but if I don't tell you now, if I don't read this now...
I can't keep up with everything that's going on.
Yes. Okay. There's apparently Weeping Angels PR Twitter account, and it just tweeted, "We're not heartless..." I can't say the word and keep our rating. "We're not heartless, whatever. We sent Brian Williams a garden gnome. Mind the teeth, Brian."
I love that last week there literally were thousands almost of the Cube Twitter accounts available immediately after the show. So this episode starts out, and the first thing I noticed was that opening credit scene was black. Like it was black. Like everyone that's paid attention to that finally got it. It happened. We saw it. It was blacked out, and you knew it was going to be bad.
It was blacked out, and it was a totally twisted color again. Not even.
They're going all over the place, and I've heard that they're looking to do an entirely new theme sequence for after the Christmas special will be its own thing, but after that they'll do more. The other thing that I thought was crazy They gave us the Statue of Liberty right out the gate.
Right out
Like
the gate.
they weren't like, let's wait around and see if we can
Let's
tease
make
this
you
long
think.
enough.
Let's make you think if it's going to happen or not.
They just said, boom, here's Statue of Liberty. But they did do it in a way where you weren't sure if it was like a dream, part of the story. They're kind of imagining how this was going on. I had, I'd seen some spoiler stuff that I tried to avoid, so I kind of knew that it was really going to happen for real. But yeah, they were just like, here's a statue. Because that was, before I saw spoilers, before I heard anything about the Statue of Liberty, as soon as I knew it was Angels in Manhattan, that was a conversation in the car with the kids. They were like, the Statue of Liberty is a big statue. I'm like, yeah, I guess it could be a weeping angel. Because they make the statement, River does at one point, he asks about how bad are the angels? And she says, they've taken over nearly every statue in New York. Does that mean they can just take any shape? Because every time we've seen them,
that was a new thing.
They've basically been the angels. I mean, except Angel Bob was possessed and all that, but they basically are angels. And then we had the cherubs in this one, which Moffat makes kids creepy, let alone
that was
angel
just
kids.
Flat out creepy. Yeah.
Yes.
But you have. They were taking, like, there was the mother and son statue, and obviously the Statue of Liberty. So you have all of these totally different forms. Like, I was expecting Weeping Angel Dog to run out at some point.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just stone statues. We were talking,
Copper.
2 or 3
Copper.
different. Yeah, I mean, we're talking 2 or 3 different mediums. Even it wasn't. Yeah.
And I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the special that came on before the U.S. airing? About Doctor in the U.S., I highly recommend watching it because they brought back David Tennant to talk in new footage, and it was pretty awesome. But
I have it on DVR.
They show clips of when they were shooting at that where the cherubs were in New York, and that fountain's been in all kinds of movies and stuff, so it's cool to see it used in that way. But yeah, they were different. I will say this: I love the Weeping Angels. The Weeping Angels are my favorite villain. But I do not want to see them again for a long time. When you use them in this way, you can water them down really easy if you bring them back quick. I don't want to see.
I'll be surprised if we see them with Matt Smith again.
I don't want to see them with Matt Smith at all, and want to see them deep into the run of whoever the next Doctor is, which we're going to do a whole episode around the next Doctor whenever that time comes. But yeah, I don't want to see them.
They need to take a longer span. When we saw the Daleks, and they said we won't see the Daleks again for a very long time, they need to take an even longer span than that for the Weeping Angels. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Absolutely, because I loved them, and I'd read a non-spoiler review before the episode because I wanted at least I was excited and I wanted something, but I didn't want to be spoiled, so I went and found that, and they gave it a 7.5 out of 10, which I think is crazy. I think people are trying to just pick apart things for no reason. The show's good, just leave it alone. But they were talking about how they had said that one of the things where they thought some of the mysticism wasn't there with the Weeping Angels, they weren't scary. I thought they were just as scary as they've ever been. My daughter was grabbing my hand the entire episode like...
Okay. They cannot say the angels aren't scary after the cherubs. Sorry.
Yeah, the babies.
I mean, come on.
They're just flat out creepy. Just creepy, scary. And the flick... Like, I love that they create this hotel... And the flickering just keeps it on and off. I don't know why, if they created it, they couldn't just keep the lights off if they wanted to. But, like, as it flickers and flashes, like, I want to see the Weeping Angels next time when they do show up. Let's put them in, like, a 70s disco with the strobe lights.
Yes!
Let's see what's happening then. Because that would be nice to see. I thought the Angels did a solid job. I thought they made for being an outstanding villain. They were the perfect send-off for Amy and Rory.
And that was what I was about to say. How fitting is it that the first time Amy meets the Angels, first time she meets River, and then you kind of do a full circle here.
Moffat's good at tying it up, and we'll get to how he tied it up with the 11th hour. Because this is the one thing I definitely realized. We overthought everything. We tried to look for everything we could talk about, blinking lights, and maybe that blinking lights and all the lights. And
hey, there was another light bulb reference, so
yeah, maybe it's going to be something later down the road. We have written all this stuff in,
and a reference to 7.
Yeah,
number 7.
Was there a 7 in this one?
At the very beginning, the floor that guy was on, his room, it was full. He went into room 702.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Okay. you pay close attention to things like that.
That's because
let's be honest. I had tears in my eyes for the second half of this entire thing anyway, so it didn't even matter. So we let me see what else I've got because I want to go through. Oh, they open with the Englishman in New York intro song, which I thought was hilarious because it just out of nowhere came on, and I was like, "That's nice. That's nice." And they, I'm trying to think of the other like kind of meta things he did. The I hate endings. He drops that real early. Mm-hmm. So that we can kind of to get it. But I think the biggest thing, and it's fairly monumental in the universe of Doctor Who, I would think, is this theory that I believe is new, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you can't change time if you've read it.
If you know it's going to happen, yeah.
I did not realize.
Does that not counteract, doesn't that kind of go against last season? The Doctor knew he was going to die, and he found a way around it, so... I mean, does that not...
Was it the Doctor that really died, though?
He found a loophole, yeah, but, I mean, it's...
Here's kind of a loophole to that, because in this episode, Amy reads the book, right? And she reads he has to break River's wrist.
Her wrist. Yeah.
Now, in the end, her wrist is broken, but the Doctor didn't break it. He assumed that he had to break River's wrist because Amy read it in the book. But as the book continued on, he left the room and decided not to do it. It was still broken. It still had to be broken, apparently. But he didn't do it, and he assumed he had to. So you can misread that information. You can see, like, yes, Rory can see a tombstone with his name on it, but that could have been a plot to fake his death in order to escape something that happened later on in a story. If you don't know all the details surrounding it, I feel there's ways to not change it, but you don't know the exact outcome. Now, yes, if you're Rory and you sit there and see your old man self die in the bed, that's hard to avoid that one without doing an entire paradox, which we're getting a little loose with what can be a fixed point in time, what can be a paradox, what's not a paradox, but it's, again, what are you going to complain about? It's Doctor Who. It's good. You just kind of roll with the punches of the story they're telling you. Did Amy look older to you? I don't want to say this and then her eventually see us podcast and then be mad at me. But
then she doesn't come on our podcast and don't talk to us because you said she looked... No, she looked hot there. We're
okay. I just thought when she put the glasses on...
The glasses on did it. I mean, the glasses on gave her a different
It just seemed
appearance.
like she seemed a little more aged. I don't know if they'd done that intentionally or if I'm just stupid.
I went back and watched the 11th hour earlier today, and she has, according to the producers, they've actually purposefully tried to make her look older for this season, more mature,
to go through it, yeah.
More reserved. So when you go back and compare the Pond from 2 seasons ago, that there's a major difference. Well, so I think it's intentional.
There's a
and I want to say, since some people are saying stuff, for anybody watching live and listen to it later that has retweeted that why the TARDIS is blue, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that upset you. I found it online and I thought it was worth posting. So
what did you do? Did you break something?
There was a poem. Do you want me to read it?
No.
It's sad.
Not if you're upsetting people.
Well, one person said they were going to have to jump off Twitter because it was depressing like Tumblr.
Oh.
Somebody wrote a poem and I found it online and it's actually well done. So I thought it was worth retweeting.
So
as I break the momentum again.
That's what you do. You break the momentum, usually by making me drop my jaw to the floor.
I don't got nothing this time. So
nothing?
I'm phased out.
I got a couple of things I noticed.
I'm kind of glad that I realized that I concentrated on the swing and stuff, but I am glad that in the 11th hour post I did have what we actually saw.
Right, what we actually saw, which we'll get to that towards the end. So. But yeah, we've got the I hate endings. I'm anxious to see if this whole theory of you can't change it if you know it kind of continues on, but we'll see. Sometimes those rules come in and they get changed and left behind. Something major happened, and I think some people missed it because I've not seen people talk about it yet.
Let's see here.
It was very casual.
Let's see if you are going to say what I'm going to say.
It has nothing to do with this episode.
It
has nothing to do with this episode.
Actually, hang on. Before you say this, hang on. Wait. I'm playing for everything.
Why do I have to wait?
Give me a second.
There's literally
because I'm going to tweet. I'm going to tweet this on Geekasm. Wes is going to mention.
I'm not gonna. I don't believe you.
Momentum.
So anyway, while he's typing, I'll talk about something else.
All right. No.
Did anyone notice
It's tweeted. It's tweeted. Go.
Okay.
Go. I'm trying to be more cheerful.
Again, momentum. Hello, I'm Michael. I'm the momentum breaker.
Do you want me to cry?
River is called Professor Song, and is asked if she's an archaeologist. Is that what you tweeted?
No, I said that you were going to point out that she was pardoned.
No, well, that kind of comes in too. But the big thing is she was called Professor Song, and she was an archaeologist. Now, again, people listening, pretty much anything up to what we have seen in this episode in the history of Doctor Who is inbound. So if you've not seen old episodes, sorry, we're going to talk about them. Come back and check out these episodes later whenever you can. When she goes in Silence of the Library, she is Professor Song, and she is an archaeologist. That means we are getting very much closer to the last time we're going to see River with the Doctor.
My question. She's been pardoned, so do you think that was part of her timeline?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think we're all still in the same timeline.
You think we're just right there, and she's getting ready to...
I think we're close.
Adios.
I think that whenever we see her, because she mentions that the Doctor has shown up in his new young face, which I don't know if that means the next Doctor, because this face is not new to her anymore, unless he goes to her kind of out of the timeline or whatever. But we are getting to that point, and I flipped through because I wanted to double check and make sure it was Professor Song. So before we got on, I just brought it up real quick and checked, and it is. If you've not watched Silence in the Library and Force of the Dead in a long time, go watch it. It's amazing. It's my second favorite episode of all time, that two-parter together. But seeing River interact with a David Tennant that has never met her and has no idea who she is crazy. And I never caught it until I just went back to check this. The first thing River says to him is, "Hello, sweetie." Like, it was already, ingrained at that point. Yeah. And it blew my mind. I'm going to go back and watch the whole thing, maybe tonight. I don't know, maybe tomorrow. But I think that was put in there to let us know we are on our path to that moment. Like, I fully expect next season to see Matt Smith show up and hand her the different sonic screwdriver.
The sonic,
yeah,
because at some point he's going to have to do
right, and it's going to break my heart. Oh, it's going to break my heart.
Well, to fuel your theory, doesn't she also talk to Pond and mention about how she doesn't need to age because the Doctor doesn't
let him see you age? Yeah,
and that's, I was going to bring that up in a little while. The don't see you age and don't let him see the damage. I don't think it's because the Doctor just wants hot chicks around him. Right. I think it's because it bothers him to see, he feels he's damaging these lives. Like, I think there comes a point where he realizes he has taken Amy and Rory away from real life, and that bothers him. And that's the endearing side to him. He's a kid that wants to go play, and after so long he realizes that maybe everyone else, it's that whole vampire thing. Vampires can't, be part of the, human society as easy because
unless they're in Twilight, which doesn't exist.
That's not real. And then because they can't, how can you love somebody if you know you're going to live forever and they're going to die? And you could be with them 60 years. 60 years is a lot for us. 60 years for someone who lives 1,200 years isn't that long. So that's the stressful part of it, and he doesn't like thinking he's caused that pain, because River's wrist was broken this episode. If he had never met River, her wrist wouldn't have been broken. So would it have been better for him to have never met her? In his mind, it might have been, because it bothers him, it stresses him.
Okay, since you brought that up, this is a question somebody asked on our Facebook page, and I kind of talked about it a little bit.
I hope you're keeping up with something. I can't. There's so many tweets.
I can't keep up with it all. But no, since you brought up River's wrist, I'll ask this. Okay. Before, it's always been that the Doctor has had a regeneration limit.
Right. Say that. Okay, now, explain the regeneration limit to me.
Kyle might know more since he's watched a little bit of the classic, but I think he's limited. At one point, it was like canon that he was limited to 12 or 13 regenerations total or something like that.
We're writing that off. That one.
Well, see, that's
going to get explained away. Don't you worry.
That's my question. Is because if he has a set number of regenerations, what's the big deal with using regeneration power to heal River?
Tim Trake 12 says he has. Hold on, I just missed it. 13 regenerations. 13.
Sweet.
13. I'm going to trust him.
I'm kind of enjoying this whole interaction thing.
But
I mean, okay, if there's a set number, why would it be a big deal to use energy? I mean, it's not like you have a set. They've not come out and said he has a set amount of regeneration and energy. It's a number of regenerations.
Have we seen him heal somebody with that? It seems like we've seen him do that before.
Did he? Was maybe Rose?
No.
Was she healed by the TARDIS itself? Or?
Yeah, she was healed by the TARDIS, and that's what made her like godlike at that one point, I think.
Yeah.
Man, I need to go back and watch that season again. Yeah, I thought that was kind of because she was very upset that he did it, and in a "you're more important than I am" kind of way, which is wrong because the Doctor, she's more important than he is to him, regardless of how many lives he impacts or worlds he changes. Speaking of worlds he's changed, we've got pretty much confirmation he doesn't exist. This dude has went in CIA style and erased everything.
Which has been a question after a couple of things, and I guess basically the last record of him was the Daleks that was erased. I mean, are we left to assume that? I mean, because he said he had not been able to crack that, which he had been trying to. So, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, we finally got confirmation on that. Which I can't remember
that River had gave the Doctor
I'm actually I'm tweeting. I'm sending him a message right back, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of... Man, thank you all the people that watch and listen. I know there's a lot of more people that listen than watch when we do it live, but all of y'all, thank you. And if anybody wants to call and leave voicemails, the phone number is... I had it right here. 260-226-3446. I got one I'm going to try to play. The audio system's a little jacked up right now, so I'm having trouble getting that in, but I think I can just rig it.
I'll see if I can't do something here in a second.
Something we passed over whenever we were... you were derailing the show earlier.
I'm good for that.
I'm not going to call him the main bad guy, but the guy, the dude that had the chained
up angel.
The collector.
Yeah. What was his name? Do you remember?
The collector.
No.
I call him the collector.
The fat collector. Moly, moly, moly. I don't know. What do you want to go with?
I'm back.
Yeah. Did you hear my moly 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 reference?
No.
Oh, man.
So you're calling I got booted out of my own podcast. That's crazy.
That always happens to you. I think he must have.
Okay, he'll be back. His name, for those not paying attention, was Mr. Grail. Like the Holy Grail, who was trying to collect I just thought that was a cool little nod to the name.
Okay, do you know if, and maybe somebody listening or watching or any of that,
I'd say no one's watching at this exact moment, just because I think when I got booted, everybody got booted.
Well, I'll wait a second then.
That's all right. We'll keep talking.
No, I'm curious if the title, the name of that place that the Angels building, that winter whatever it was, because they concentrate on the name so many different times instead of just the building itself. Mm-hmm. I'm just curious if it has some sort of significance or not. I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. I Googled it and didn't get anything.
I did too, and I didn't get anything.
I'm wondering. I want to make sure we're still broadcasting, because if I got booted, that makes me sad. Just checking real quick. Yeah, we're live. So, Kyle, you jumped off. His name was Mr. Grail, as in the Holy Grail, as in the search for the end all be all of searches. And I would like to know how he captured an angel. I guess he understood they were moving. Did he somehow just grab them and go, yeah, we're going to keep this one. Let's wrap some chains around it. And how?
Well, not only that, we're going to break it.
Well, I'm assuming that was after they had the chains for a little while. So, but my thing is, when they wrapped it in chains, was it not strong enough then to get out of it, or do they have to stare at it forever and then go? You know, it's just...
well, I mean...
I'm not saying there was a plot hole. No. I'm just saying
I kind of
like
thought...
to know how he got it.
I kind of thought it as, well, you know, having the curtain in front of an angel like that might actually work because, hey, she never knows if she's going to pop through that curtain and you're going to be right there looking at her.
That's a good point.
And she can't go anywhere else, so it's kind of like trapping her.
Yeah. Yeah, I like in the whole scene where the angel grabs River and she didn't go anywhere, she's like, what just happened? Yeah. Why did she not go? And then they, you know, explain it wasn't powerful enough to send her back anywhere, but still, I didn't see that coming, even though, I mean, I saw part of it in the Canadian trailer that you showed me dropped everything. It was, I mean, except for the
that
ponds,
was just
but I mean,
ridiculous.
Everything else, they were like, hey, here's everything you ever need to know. Here's something, I saw this earlier in the week, and I don't know if you saw it or caught it on this one. The staircase in Mr. Grail's house. Do you remember seeing that before?
The same one from
the mansion in the Cybermen episode.
Yes.
In season, is that season 2? Yeah, that's season 2 because it's Rose's dad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the parallel world.
Yeah. That it's the same staircase. So I don't know where that is, but they shot in the same place.
Well, that's the same as the beach that they used in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship is Bad Wolf Bay.
Is
they
it?
used? Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that either.
So the TARDIS shows up, right? And the Doctor's got to primp himself in the mirror thing. Did you pause it and look at it?
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't pause it, but I looked it up.
What did it say? Because I got it right. What is it?
I don't have it in front of me.
Okay, so it's a metal plate that
I know what it goes to, though. Do you?
What does it go to?
I'll see what you say.
I thought it was a thing for the TARDIS. I didn't know it went from something else. I just know it says Rolls-Royce Motors on it.
Actually, let me see if I can't find it again.
It says Rolls-Royce Motors Crew, England.
Let me see if I can find it real quick.
And then has manufacturer number, part number, all these different things. The numbers aren't on there, just the places for it to be.
It's a tally plate from the Rolls-Royce Griffin engine from a Supermarine Spitfire, which was more than likely Danny Boy's fighter from the Dalek episode.
Really?
Okay.
That's what I'm looking at.
Good for you.
Thank you.
For you.
Yay.
Let's see, what else do we got? So
okay, now we're being told Mercedes by Time Lord Society, so I might be wrong. Am I getting called out and being told wrong?
I can bring up the screenshot if you want. I can show you where it says Rolls-Royce. I don't know if he's got something from Mercedes, but I can tell you for sure
Mercedes,
it says Rolls-Royce because I just had it up.
Same thing. Okay. Yeah, he just said same thing. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just going by what I see. So
I understand. So we've got the Winter Key, which I'm assuming since they show the name so many times, that's got to be something later, but it may not, and we're just reading too much into it like we do everything else. But basically, the hotel's the big battery pack. Decent concept. They're basically sending them back and regenerating off them each time. It seems like they would try to send them back multiple times. Like let's say they've got 2012, they could send him back 10 years, and then send him back 10 years, and then send him back 10 years, and send him back 10 years, and just do it over and over to get that energy. Or does one 80-year blast? Does that get you more?
I don't know. They didn't. I'm assuming they just.
I think that may be something we're just supposed to go, okay, that's what it is.
Well, my question is who do the angels get to make the nice little nameplates for the rooms?
They can do it themselves. You don't think angels are crafty?
You think they can write?
Yeah, they're angels.
Or type?
Yeah.
With them big long nails and stuff. You think they're happy faced angels when they're typing?
Yeah. They have happy faces sometimes, but a lot of times they're like,
okay,
how it didn't get me on the big one, so that won't be the thumbnail.
How creepy how creepy was the angels just with that smirk?
Dude.
Like I want to say the smirk to me said something that I can't say with us keeping our explicit tag.
When they hit that hallway and they look and it's just that smirk, because it wasn't a full-on smile. It was just like upturn smirk.
Y'all are just
it was way creepier than any scream face. Or I'm still a sucker for the just covering the eyes. To me, that's classic that's Blink, and it makes me scared.
Well, you got to keep in mind that the past 2 times we've seen the Angels, they've actually been tricked, and now the Angels are the ones pulling the trick. I'd have a smirk on my face as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
Up to that point, they had their plan. They didn't expect Amy and Rory to just go crazy and try something so over the top insane that it shouldn't have worked, but it did. They and look, I'm going to go ahead and say it, because to me this was the big, like, I know the letter is what makes you cry like a baby and all that, but this was, you know, Amy and Rory, Arthur and Karen. Uh-oh, something's going crazy in my house. Can y'all hear that?
Yep.
Hold on. Y'all keep talking.
I was about to say the Angels are attacking Wes, and now he's gone. I'm going through Twitter, so...
And you've blown your candle out, so...
Yeah, I blew my candle. I lost the mood lighting. Let's see here. We'll just talk Twitter until Wes gets back. I'll answer people. Elizabeth, yeah, I know, 601 followers. I'm probably going to be nice and do it here in a little bit, or at least announce what it was, and I'll figure out. We've got a couple of other things to give away too, so we've got a couple of things. So
I'm back.
Well, you know what? I got to answer one Twitter message.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you were gone. I didn't want to leave you out of the conversation, so I was like,
can't help
go to
Twitter.
Twitter.
The alarm went off.
Let's go to Twitter. So.
Okay, so anyway, that scene, and as much as it was Amy and Rory, it was Arthur and Karen really getting to shine. I thought they both home run. The single tear moment, you know, if you go, you know, you're not going by yourself. That whole just, this is going to work or it's not going to work. And I'm going to be with you regardless. Because early on, we had all of that build-up, and not in this episode, in you know, the series with Matt Smith. Did she love the Doctor or did she love Rory? This dude waited 2,000 years.
We had the ultimate Amy choice. Yep.
Yeah, even if you ever still had any question, that's got to be gone now. I mean, that entire moment, and it worked, and I don't want to bypass it because it was a great line. But when the Doctor was ready to just give up and say that was it, and she was like, you know, how about this? I'm not letting them take him. So how about that? That reminded me of my wife, to be quite honest. That just, look, this is how it's going to be because I said so. And I'm glad they did that because it gave us what really ended up working the most, and that was where Moffat sucker punched us. It works, and everything's good. We still all know they're leaving. But in my mind at this point, I'm like, uh-oh, he's going to go fairy tale ending on me, and I didn't see it coming because he's told me about the tragedy all along. Mm-hmm. And then, boom, out of nowhere, Angel tags Rory, and you just don't, I mean, it just happens so fast that there's not even a build-up to it. Instead of having that slow burn, because we got a slow burn already. Yeah. We get a slow burn for something, or we get just hits you new and just floors you because you're like, what? And you see that. Betrayal's not the word, but what happened?
Have you seen the latest tweet we got from
No,
Tim?
There's a million of them.
Okay, get this. Here's your silent moment, since it just gave it to me. The thing that freaked me out was that if he hadn't seen his name, it never would have happened.
Or would it?
Well, it might have, but
maybe
once he saw his name,
yeah, that's, to me, it's that whole, once you've seen it written, it happened. You know, there's no way around it. It happened, and it was so. He kept looking at it. He kept looking at it, and it was just.
It was the whole Back to the Future tombstone because it just had his name on it. It didn't have anything else on it.
Right.
And then it changed as things occurred, right there in real time.
Yeah, and then Amy just, that decision, I think what gets, because I just watched it right before we went on. I wanted to watch the ending again to get it fresh in my mind. I've already cried enough. I'm not going to cry tonight anymore, I don't think. But it's happening. You've got Amy's emotion.
Yeah.
You've got the Doctor losing it because he doesn't want to lose her. He's had the trouble losing her. And then River has almost played a background role in this episode. And I think just for this moment, where she tells the Doctor to shut up, and tells her mother, not Amy, tells her mother.
Tells her mother, yes.
Yeah, it wasn't River and Amy. It was daughter and mother. And she was saying, Mom. I'm going to cry now. Mom.
Yeah, and she even called her, called for Melody. She didn't call for River.
It might work. Mm-hmm. She didn't know for sure it would, but she was saying, this is your chance.
This is your chance.
Take that leap. And it may not have worked. It may have been the most cry. I will cry on public. That's just going to happen.
But she thought it was worth it.
So
it was worth it.
Beautiful. And she just said, Raggedy Man, goodbye. Boom. She was gone. And
it's like, that's all she needed was, okay, there's a chance.
And what I like with the tombstone, I mean, I can debunk it too, but with the tombstone, there's no dates. It's just how old they were. So he has no idea where they went. So unless, I mean, technically he could go year by year until he figures out when the tombstone went up and all that and kind of do research. But I mean, technically, unless they wanted to be found, they wouldn't be. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like knowing that they went off on their own and got to live that life and have that normal life because the choice was made. You know, you're not with the doctor anymore. You're moving on. And that's powerful because it's what they need to do. You know, it's the life they needed to have. It just, I don't know. It really got me. I'm not gonna lie. It tore me up. It's still gonna get me. I'm gonna watch it over and over again until I'm dehydrated. That's just what's gonna happen.
I know a lot of Who fans want the epic storylines with the universe rebooting and all that good stuff.
I don't.
More taken up out in space.
But
what makes these episodes so strong at the beginning of this season is there has been that human element.
Exactly.
A human element, and that's what makes them great.
To
They're
me,
more
that's
personal
what made
stories.
When you look at the David Tennant era in particular, to me, his best stories weren't when he was saving a planet. It was because he made immediate impact on specific people. And that was, to me, that was the essence of what the Doctor was. I think whenever River said the Doctor got too big in, was it Good Man Goes to War when she said that? When she said it, wherever she said it, I don't think she was just talking to the Doctor. I think she was talking about Doctor Who, the show. And it became, because look, how did we end Matt Smith's first season? We rebooted the universe. We had the second big bang. Where do you go from there? What's bigger than that? I realize we had other stories, but what's bigger than that? Scale down. Let's go small again. Let's go, we just stumbled onto this place and things happen. And that's kind of what this season was. They were one-off stories, and something I'll talk about because I'm, as a photographer, I look at these things. They were all shot differently and beautifully. Like every one of them had a different cinematic style. Like tonight's.
Well, they said that these were going to be. Yeah, they said these episodes were each going to have that cinematic feel to them, and they weren't lying. I mean, they definitely had their own feel to them. So. Yeah,
Well, I mean, even going back to the Eccleston era. One of the strongest episodes was when Rose was trying to save her father from dying.
Right.
Very human element.
And a very good episode. That's actually one I want to do when we do the regeneration episodes later on. I think that's going to be a good episode to do. So, Amy writes her little message to the Doctor, which I thought was tremendous.
Yes.
Matt Smith sitting alone on that Central Park bench. I wish I'd seen a photo of it before. I wish I hadn't have, because it
when they were filming, from him filming.
It was so it's because it's such a big. Like I love now that the show's in HD because that 16:9 format gives it. There was just this empty feeling of him being alone, and we all know because they are cramming it down our throats that the Doctor shouldn't be alone. I mean, they are going hard on that. They want. So I don't know if he's going to. We already know the new companion, so I don't know why he's not going to be alone. And that's another thing let's talk about real quick. How do you feel about your timeline out of order, episode out of order timeline theory?
Well, if that was the case, I think we would have had it verified.
You think so?
Episode, so
I almost think we wouldn't have necessarily had to have had it verified.
We wouldn't have to have it verified, no.
Because we already know he's crossing the time stream with young Amelia, which we'll get to. I feel it's possible. I really do. But we would have to see, we'd have to have it from Moffat at some point. But it seems like it's something that could have happened.
It seems like it's a possibility. I mean, yeah.
So, okay. Here's the thing. The girl who waited the 11th hour. Obviously, the line in the last episode for I gotta go swing on a swing or whatever, that he swung on the swings when he told Amy. That's why I think that it happened out of order. Because I think when he went back to talk to young Amelia, he sat on the swings and told her a story. And I want to know, since we're to believe in this universe and the way they're doing it, that you can't, everything has happened. Like, there's no going back and forth. Like, if you look back at, like, the Pandorica, well, I guess the second part of that, I forget the name of it, Big Bang, I guess, where the Doctor, things are happening out of order because they have to happen regardless. Did Amy know all along? Like, did Amy know these stories? Because he told her the stories when she was a child. Does she know those stories?
I wondered the same question.
Yeah,
and again, I'm not doing it like here's a plot hole. I'm saying she could subtly have just known somebody or forgot them or.
Well, they went back and with the Pandorica Opens and stuff, it was all these things were pulled from Amy's imagination. Well, what if she got interested in all that because of everything some of the things the Doctor told her? So it was like, okay, well, this is cool. And I mean, you could argue the whole paradox type thing to where he causes something which has an effect, which the whole melody being named after herself type deal. So
if anyone's not seen the interview for what's the producer of Lost, Kyle?
Carl Hughes,
Lindelof.
Yeah, Lindelof.
Damon Lindelof on Nerdist. Find it. It's on the Nerdist TV show. He talks about paradoxical and non-paradoxical time travel and how it applied to Lost and how it applies to Star Trek and the different things. Very good, since this show deals with time travel. I should just memorize it and talk about it, but it's good for you to go see it. Excuse me. I think there's a lot of things left in my mind to wonder about what Amy knew, what she didn't know, what she remembered, how much she knew going in. But overall, I was really pleased with that. Now, one thing that got said in the graveyard that leads to what is going to be happening, because we've heard rumor that it will happen, is River makes the statement, this thing could use a paint.
Job.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's in reference to we will eventually get a rebooted TARDIS.
He's going to redo the TARDIS again.
Yeah. So that'll happen. I don't know if it'll happen in Christmas or what. Christmas is shaping to be a pretty big episode, though.
Yeah.
So, did y'all have anything we've not covered on the actual thing?
I thought it had a strong score once again.
Yeah, I thought the music was good.
Very brassy and vocal.
Yeah, it was strong musically. It had a good feel, everything. Especially I love the film noir open. It was a real soft, almost piano-y version of the theme, but way slow. Like you almost didn't even realize it was the theme as it was happening. Yeah.
So a lingering question is probably why would I give it a 9.5 out of 10 instead of a 10? Do any of you all feel like that the Statue of Liberty Weeping Angel was a little underutilized in the episode?
I think that was budgetary. Because if you'll notice, the two times you saw it was in the exact same position.
Right.
So, I mean, they built that set, and that's all they had. I know they're making money, but they're still not making enough to where they can do whatever they want.
Especially with all the extra TARDIS effects and everything they had going on. So they had to do a little extra.
I definitely didn't want to see a big CGI Statue of Liberty running around.
I didn't want to see that at all.
Stupid.
Like, go back to Ghostbusters and just have
Oh, no.
We went there.
Yeah.
And I promise I am telling you right now, I'm not downloading the music. I'm not playing it, so don't worry.
Well, here's what I'm going to play.
not.
I'm going to see if I can get this. 'Cause we got a voicemail, but the way I usually run this stuff in is acting crazy, so we're going to see if you can
Actually, if you want me to try the way I was doing the music, I can try that method if you want me to.
Let me see it, because Kyle said he could hear this earlier.
Okay.
I know I'm in the minority, but I'm actually one of the few people that's looking forward to the Ponds leaving. I've actually been ready for them to go since the end of last season. But I'm not saying they didn't do a great job, because they absolutely did. But I'm glad to see the show is changing, and I really hope that they spend more time focusing on the Doctor again, and not so much on the companions. Let's hope for a return to good Doctor Who. Thanks. Bye.
All right. They didn't leave their name, or I would gladly shout that out, because that's...
So if that was you and you're listening right now, yell at Twitter.
Thank you. Yeah, holler at Twitter and let us know so we can give you credit on that. Now, there's a couple things that are said in there that I want to address. The closing of... Let's get back to good Doctor Who I disagree with, because I think the Doctor Who has been amazing all along. I just think it goes different directions, and you either roll with it or you don't. But... And look, I'm sad to see the Ponds go. I'm sad. But I do like that they're gone. And here's why. Because all along through the Matt Smith era, to me, the Doctor has felt like a sidekick to Amy.
To Amy. Yeah.
Amy, it seems like it's more Amy's story.
Where Amy was able to remember, Amy brought him back, Amy did all
Right.
that. It was almost like Amy had the power.
And
yeah.
we're 2.5 seasons in with the Ponds. That's the longest we've had a companion since the Ninth Doctor on, since I guess 2005 and up. Because Rose was 2 seasons, Martha 1, Donna 1, and then we've had the Ponds, and they've been here forever. And this is actually, I guess, will now be the longest we've had tied. We had Tennant for 3 seasons. We'll have Matt Smith for 3 seasons, and it looks like maybe 4. So. Something we've all forgot about is the Doctor, that cast changes more rapidly than what we're used to, and it seemed like it was becoming just a show about this group. So now, we're going to get some change, and I am excited about that. And I do feel they have told all the stories they need to tell with the Ponds. Yeah, you can keep writing Doctor Who episodes with them as characters, because you can basically plug in anybody to be a companion and that be part of a story. But the overall story of the Ponds, I think, was told, and it was told well. That's why I'm okay saying goodbye to them. I'm glad I heard that that voicemail came in yesterday, so it was before anybody had seen the episode, so I went ahead and listened to it. And it made me, I went into this episode a little differently. I was still sad because I knew what was happening as far as them leaving, and that made me sad because I enjoyed them. They became part of our lives. But I was okay with it, because I'm ready to move on to new stories. And I'm glad that we've already seen the actress that's going to play the new companion, whether it's Oswin or whatever they call her, because I enjoyed that. I watched that episode and thought, you know what? This could be fun. And we're going to have that newness, there's going to be a totally new way of telling the story. And I'm hoping Oswin sticks around long enough and we get a new Doctor that gets paired with her and we go into that cycle to where they kind of step back and forth across each other. I thought it would have been interesting to see a new Doctor with Amy, but I'm glad we didn't see that. I think that they fit together too well. She needed to be with the Raggedy Man that she saw when she was a child and then moved on, and now we can move on.
Yeah.
See, I'm of the opinion, especially going back and watching some of the older episodes, that it is actually a show more about the companion watching the Doctor through their eyes.
Right.
It's almost like the audience is the companion. As I'm watching these Tom Baker episodes with Sarah, Jane, and with the second Doctor, Zoe, it seems like they are episodes, mostly about the companions that are just having to maneuver with the Doctor throughout their lives. So, I understand the perspective that the show was more about Amy, but the same argument I think could be made for Rose. When Rose was on the show, I felt like more was concentrated on Rose than the Doctor, and I just think that's what the show's sort of supposed to be about.
Well, the companion gives us a viewpoint into the world of the Doctor, because here's what it is, and if someone doesn't agree with this, they're lying. You watch the companion, and you sit there and go, man, I want to do that. You want the Doctor to show up at your house, show up at your work, jump in, and take off for an adventure. That's what you want. and that's what the companions do. Some differently than others, but they are a viewpoint, but it seemed different. And I think once they started playing the thing on BBC America where it was that new intro with Amy telling the story as if it was her telling the story about her imaginary friend, it just seemed different. And I'm glad we're moving on from that. I'm glad to see we're getting somewhere else.
No, I do think the Ponds had run their course, and Amy's my favorite companion.
By far. See, I think
far.
We're gonna go back. Look, we've got a lot of things we're gonna be doing, and we can go ahead and talk about this now. We when we originally decided to do this is our 6th episode. We did an introduction type of episode, and then we've done one for each Doctor Who episode that came out. And originally, that was the plan. We were going to...
Yeah, Wes and I basically did this so our other podcast wouldn't be Doctor Who-centric on episodes and bore everybody else.
On my other podcast, it's me and Jared who wants to come on this, and we love Doctor Who, Walking Dead, those kind of things, and love to talk about them. And we've got a friend named Beans who hates everything. So we talk about what we like, and he bashes it, and it's fun. But it got to where we were talking about Doctor Who all the time, and I was like, I got to take this somewhere else. And with Michael's Geekasms podcast, it started to be all Doctor Who all the time. And so we decided, wouldn't this be easier? And we were going to come back at Christmas. But what's happened is you all are freakishly amazing. And just
amazing's an understatement.
Yeah,
it's been wild.
It's been an amazing ride so far. And so what we decided is we're going to continue to do a Doctor Who podcast weekly. We're just kind of mapping out what we're going to do, and the episodes may come out a little differently for those. We may not do them all on Google Hangout. We may do a few together in person and then put them out. But we're going to go back, and we're going to have some episodes about specific things. Like we're going to do an episode just about the companions. We're going to do an episode just about the villains. We're going to have a tournament of villains. It's going to be good. We're going to do different things, and we're going to ask for a lot of feedback from you all because your all's questions will help us do better podcasts, I believe, and voicemails and things like that. But we're also going to go back and watch episodes. Like we're going to go back and watch, we'll go back and watch Blink as if it just came out tonight, and we'll talk about it like we're talking about these episodes. We're going to do a lot of different things, and we're looking for feedback because you all are the reason we're going to do this, because we were just going to do a few and have fun with it and move on, but that's not an option now because everybody loves it. So I appreciate it, and Michael appreciates it, and Kyle appreciates it, and we're doing a lot of different things. We picked up. Have you talked about the sponsor yet, Michael?
No, I have not.
We've picked up a new affiliate sponsor. Why don't you talk about that?
Do you want to do that, or do you want to do the app first?
Whatever you want to do.
Okay. We'll do this first because do you feel I think it happened right after the time that I marked, but we did cross the 600 follower mark.
Oh, then you got to give it away.
So I promise. Wes has no idea about this.
I don't know what he's giving away. I just know he's giving away something.
This is totally me. It was, for anybody that follows the Twitter account, you might be able to tell we don't really converse with each other. We just both kind of do our own thing with it. Because I've noticed sometimes you and me reply to the same person within like 30 seconds. So
I want to talk to these people.
I know.
It's hard to keep up. They send so much stuff.
I know.
I live by the code of no tweet left behind, but this is putting me to the test sometimes. My battery in my phone can't keep up.
But it's so good. Anyway.
Yeah, it is.
We have I'll go through this whole spiel. I'll try not to make it sound like a commercial and just tell you all. Our new affiliate, we'll say, is 604 Republic, which is one of these geeky T-shirt type things, websites that sell different T-shirts. They've got, Doctor Who. They've got, I'm looking at the main page. They've got Star Wars. They've got Zombie Bert and Ernie. Let's see here. What else do they have? They have Smurfs, but they have a lot of Doctor Who related stuff. So first off, if you want to support us in any way, there's going to be a banner on policebox.geekasm. There'll be a banner on this podcast post that I do, and all you have to do is click. I don't care what you buy. You don't have to. If you want to buy something from them, click the link. we get, I won't lie, we get a little something back just
Sweet,
for
I didn't know that either.
basically
Yes.
sending you all to their store. We get a little something extra. But, and Wes, if you want to pick a follower while I'm sitting here finishing this spiel.
Oh, out of all of them?
Yeah, just pick a
Hold
random.
on, I got to get a random generator thing. Okay, you keep talking.
All right, I'll keep talking. You're fine for a minute. But, so, you can support the podcast that way.
This is one of the 602 followers, right? Not the, or one of the people that have replied tonight. The other
we'll do the
Okay.
app for that. Just pick a random
gotcha.
follower. Yeah, out of the 602.
You
So, as me, because like I said, Wes didn't know anything about this. I will, whoever Wes picks, if that person likes a shirt on this site, they will get that.
Wow.
I will. I'll go over now. I don't know if they ship overseas and I can gift it out to you, or if I'll have to buy it, have it shipped to me, and then I ship it out to you. I don't know. I don't know if I have to tie it to a carrier like 15 carrier pigeons and have them fly it to you. There's a couple people in Kentucky. If I have to drive it to you, I don't care. But yes, as a gift from me to you, if you want a shirt from 604 Republic, I will gladly get you one. And it doesn't have to be Doctor Who either. So, Wes is still moving. Good. I thought it might have been caught.
No,
Well,
I'm here. It's complicated. You can't just say get a random picker thing at the last second.
A random picker thing.
Well, yeah. Give me a
But
minute.
they've got a couple of good. I'll keep talking about the side. I don't care. They've got some of the Doctor Who shirts. They've got one that has a trash can with like a plunger sticking out, like a plumber had thrown it away, and a Dalek rolling towards it, holding a flower, yelling "Procreate."
Nice.
I mean,
Okay,
that's the
I got
type
one.
of thing.
I got one.
All right.
The winner of you're giving. I'm sorry. Is it a shirt you're going to give?
Yes, I'm going to. They can get a shirt from 604 Republic.
The winner will be
604republic.com.
Quality Geek on Twitter at Quality Geek. I don't know if they're listening tonight or download the podcast. We'll have to.
Well, we'll post it later too.
Yeah,
so
it's
I
at
actually said
Quality
it.
Geek. Do you have that down? Because I will lose this if I close it.
Hang on one second. I'll write it down.
So
kinda
we're
like that
also
name,
going to
too.
give away to people that have been submitting stuff tonight. We're in
Which is a bunch of you all too.
Yeah, we are in an app called Who News, and it costs like $3, and we've got a coupon code to get it for free. So we're going to give away one of those as well. So you got Quality Geek down at Quality Geek.
At Quality Geek.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay,
For the shirt.
and we'll go through and now. I'll just do it for mentions tonight, and then we'll give that away because
Okay.
we got there's a lot of people tweeting. There's a lot of people watching right now. I'm excited about this, people.
Actually, when you do this, I'll say something else after that. So.
Okay, and if anybody has questions, send them in, and we will be glad to answer them while we're doing this.
Actually, I'll ask. I don't want to do this publicly.
You can't say I'm going to ask and stop talking, dude.
Yeah, I
What was
know,
that? He goes,
but
I'm going to ask.
But
Pause.
Pause. Do we have enough listeners or watchers right now live for something worth throwing out there?
If you want, I
Yeah,
can't
you
see
know.
the full numbers now because when I got
can't fill
kicked
them
out,
out.
it
Okay.
pulled them, but I saw them before we went.
For
into the number.
anyone listening or watching right now live,
You were in a giving mood
11,
this time.
11, whatever. Do what? I'm not.
Nothing. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. For anyone that is watching us live right now, if the first person to send a tweet, a direct message, to send anything that throws up my phone for Police Box Twitter account, I will give you a free. I'll gift a. I can't remember the name of it right now, of course. I'm real good. It's another Doctor Who related app. It's like Dalek iStock or something like that. It's a photo. Give me 1 second to find the actual name of it because I am. Can you tell I'm going off just
I don't know, but if you're going, like, if you've started this already, I think Time Lord Society just won it because it popped up immediately. Like, as soon as you said tweet something that pops up, it was boom. It was on my screen, phone, and iPad. That's somebody that's on their grind right now.
And you know what? I'll give shout outs to people on Twitter. I have followed Time Lord Society for a while off the Geekasm site.
Mm-hmm.
They're pretty cool.
Well, and
so
welcome
for
Nathaniel 11, who tweets us all the time. I love it. She's always interested in what we got going on.
Yes.
SFS Mouse. I don't know. SFS MAUS. Pondering Dalek is on there, telling us to procreate. I'm not sure where we're going with that, but I love Pondering Dalek.
That's for another podcast we've talked about.
W Smith 84, Ray the Boss 375, who I think is a fairly new.
Is that the one you pointed out?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, and that the app I was talking about is iStock. It's just under iStock, and it converts photos to make it look like what the Dalek view is.
Sweet.
Yes.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything else that we can go over. We're gonna next week. I think we're gonna try to recap the season as a whole and kind of level set where we're going. Listen, this is what I want y'all to do. Call and leave voicemails. Don't expect anyone to pick up. It just goes straight to voicemail, and then we download the MP3s and can throw them in the show and do different things. Anytime you want to leave one, we can try to use it on the show we're doing or the next show. And the number again, I'll have him put it on the website, but it's 260-226-3446. And you can call and leave a message anytime. We'll be glad to hear it. Emails tardis@tphpod.net. You all are following us on Twitter already, I'm sure. Police BX
yes.
Paradox. The Facebook page, Google Plus page, anything. The amount of interaction you all are giving is what's making this
fun, exciting. Wes paused again.
The Angels got him.
He's back.
Hello.
The Angels cannot stop. You know what I should have done is every time I come back from getting booted off, I should have another mark on my feet. I should have done that. I do not think fast enough on my feet. So we have said goodbye to the Ponds, and I think this is probably a different episode than what we usually do normally, just because I was emotional and it's been stressful just leading up to this.
I've tried to avoid it because I could get into the whole relationship and the love and the emotion and everything else, and I'd be.
There's something about Rory that there's something in him that just makes me understand what he's going through. And
he always gets the short end of the stick every single
and
episode.
Will always sacrifice. Let's go. And I was watching it the other day. We when Kyle was over, we watched Good Man Go to War, and that opening montage where Rory's just like, I'm going until I get my baby. We're going hard, and that I like anytime we got to see Rory actually be a hero as opposed to just being the comedy sidekick, because he would sacrifice everything for his wife and his child and his soon-to-be child and his flesh child and his flesh wife and really the doctor. He's just there. He's a good guy, and I'm so glad he wasn't the master. If he'd been the master, it would have broken my heart. Mm-hmm. I couldn't have handled it. That would have been one where I'd been like, I got to get off the bus for a minute, people, because that would have been just too much.
And just so we can end on a less than a deep emotional thing, just like I said, so I don't, get too emotional. Did you notice that Amy referred to him as the Centurion again? You think she has that in you think she tells him to dress up, every Saturday night? It's like, hey, honey.
We know in the Christmas episode.
That's right. But that was their honeymoon. We're talking 10 years down the road.
You're telling me that, look, there ain't no way.
I'd pull it out.
I wouldn't be like, hey,
I'd
be
pulling it
police
out.
kissogram girl if you don't mind, lady.
Exactly.
That's coming out. That's happening. So you hush. You know. So, again, we'll be back. We're going to come back weekly. I'm pretty sure we'll still try to do episodes and have them come out on Saturdays, but we may record it a little different time.
There's going to be a couple of different times. It's not going to be every time.
We're going to do
a bit between now and Christmas. So
here are a few things we're going to do. We're going to have Q&A episodes where it's going to be nothing but questions from you all. So you're going to have to pump in some questions when those come around for sure. And we'll try to answer questions anytime, but we'll have some full episodes. We're going to do a couple roundtable episodes, which means we're going to open this bad boy up, and whoever wants to get in can get in. We're going to talk who. We do this on Google+, so as long as you got a Google account, you can get in. We're going to do what we're going to call regeneration episodes, where we just go grab an episode, watch it, and talk about it as if it were brand new. We are going to try to do some classic Who stuff. Kyle's been watching a little more. I'm going to try to grab one out of.
And I'm going to jump. Actually, I'll say right now, I want 2 or 3 episodes for me to watch.
I want to go
for me.
I would like all of us to go watch one of the ones they recommended with the Brigadier in it.
Yeah, I would too. Yeah,
and we can watch the same one, and then we'll talk about it. And then we're going to do, we'll have a Halloween episode, and we'll have we're going to do an episode. We'll talk about Christmas specials, and then we'll do an episode for the actual Christmas episode, which means we'll have to record on Christmas Day. That's kind of cool. So we're open to suggestions. Send along anything you all want to do.
If you want to episode type, if you've got like, this would be a great episode, send it, because I might be for it. Yeah, you're probably right. I mean, we want to entertain you, the masses. So actually, I have one question. Here's an example of a question, and this goes to Kyle, that I've gotten.
Oh no.
Kyle and I talked about some stuff. Go ahead.
No. This actually has nothing to do with Doctor Who. Kyle, there's been some concern presented to me that you have a poster of porn stars behind your head.
What?
Will you please move your head so it's clear to people what the poster behind your head is?
It doesn't get more British than that.
I realize that the Beatles have done some nefarious things, and their life
although
that's been recorded in literature.
We got to be talking about the one porn mustache that's kind of your head was blocking 3, but yes, that was presented towards me, and so yeah, and I will get cussed out here in a minute, more than likely. So
not by our viewers, because they're awesome. Well, we're going to wrap it up for this week. This episode of Police Box Paradox. I'm Wes. That is Michael.
Woo!
That is Kyle. And until next time, I'm going to sign off by saying, come along, Pond.